Hello, everybody. I'm truly honored that you have come to join together with me, with the texts of the Zohar, and with the others who are coming here with a purpose. People who have joined, excuse me, the stream are doing it because of what the stream is about. It's about taking some kind of an interaction for world peace in relation to the deepest book of wisdom and of spiritual science that has been given to humanity. Before I explain anything about what we're going to do, let's take a look at who is joining us, our honorable guests. And if you could say where you're from, that's also fun. So we have Rachel McBride has joined us, Sylvie, Echoes, J.J. Freed, Bongani has joined us, Kevin Long, hiya Kevin, Slightly Slanted Sleuth, number 4, Michaela Angel from Romania, P. Martin, Spiritual Odyssey from Tennessee. Wonderful. Wonderful. It's lighting up. So, we're in the midst of a war, a dangerous war, and this is not just a war in one particular place in the world. This is a war actually within the human heart that is echoing throughout the world because of a very special quality that we have arrived at in our relation with each other. What we're seeing is the result of this relationship and the fact that we were created whole as a single being and then purposely shattered so that we would feel as though we are separate people, separate objects in the world, planets, vast spaces, animals, all of these things, as though it wasn't really part of one complete, whole, interrelated, and caring system. And from the point of view of a peace, the care, the love, and the good can't easily be perceived. It practically can't be perceived at all. So what we are seeing now is the end of a period of development that we all have been going through, that we call billions of years or millions of years, or when it comes to the human level, thousands of years of development. And we're at a point where the sensation, the unconscious sensation of our complete interconnectedness and the fact of us being one whole system is felt by us mostly in an unconscious way, but it's effective, subconscious way. And externally, or what we consider to be external, it's also showing up there in what we see and what we feel in our 5 senses. But it's in its last stages of brokenness. And there's a decision that needs to be made in relation to what we are, and therefore how we proceed. And this stage is a necessary stage that we feel is war, and we don't know what to do with it. We think we would like to pray, we would like to take actions, but we don't know what the correct actions are, and we don't know how to form a real prayer that could possibly cover all of the things that we feel to the depth that we feel them. This is why we use the Zohar for a moment like this. The writings of the Zohar contain a map of the whole interrelated system in a perfected way. It contains all the laws of nature. It contains all the proper relationships of one thing with another. And all of that is really summed up and acted out and experienced in the human heart, in the emotive field between people. Now, it's written in the Zohar like that, but it's written in the terms of this complete world, which is called, not the one we live in, but the one that exists, you could say, above it, the one that we live in, that holds where we are and is the point at which we are now evolving into. And when it comes to this spiritual quality of complete interrelatedness and the perfection of action done by a loving force that we are a part of, that we're not separated from it, that we are really servants of this force, and all the good that we might want in our lives is felt when we feel ourselves in contact with this, and the only way that we can be in contact with it is by being inwardly like it. Now, when it comes to images, sensations of this upper world that we find in the Zohar, we don't have any inner behavioral models for this. We don't have any images. We don't have sensations of it. We have no understanding of it. It doesn't appear in our reason or in our senses in any way. And even actually, if these qualities, a picture of spirituality, were presented before us, we wouldn't be able to perceive it. And that's the way that it actually is for us. That is really what's happening. We're already in this, a complete picture, but we're not participating. We only see a very small part of what actually is. And that's because we don't have the appropriate inner models. Our heart is not enough like this. And what's written in the Zohar is written in order to give us a model, but this model will not appeal to our mind. The writings in the Zohar bring this down to us and give us an opportunity to sense this in the place where it should be sensed and in the manner in which we have to act together in order for there to be a spiritual sensor among us. We come to the Zohar as a remedy. It will provide for us, we're going to do a thing together now, in which we are going to just read from the Zohar. I'll read, and you just need to immerse yourselves and allow this to be your prayer. It is not going to speak to your mind. And if it does, and if you begin to see images and you start following those images, okay, follow them, but that's not what it's talking about. That's this upper force speaking to our perception on the level that it can reach us. But it's not about any physical thing or any people. It's about a spiritual quality that connects everything and directs it to good. So we're going to allow this to be our prayer. What we need to immerse into is the recognition of why we're here, first of all. Why was I attracted to reading the Zohar for world peace? What do I want? Secondly, we need to allow ourselves to feel that there are now many, many people together with you, together with us, wanting and doing the same thing. We need to immerse into the awareness that this is something that is happening collectively, and that the quality that we want is that spiritual quality of connection with each other, of the sensation that there is a single desire, now asking for peace, for wholeness. Shalom, peace, is from the root shalem, which means wholeness. It's not a wholeness of something exterior to us, but a wholeness within our heart, recognizing that we are an active, conscious part of this system, interrelated in our heart with everybody else. And everybody else who's here is aiming at this same desire. We become, this longing that we have becomes a vessel for us to be able to feel the quality of the upper world. That is the prayer, because a prayer is, make me like your quality, Creator. Make me like the spiritual. So we're going to allow these forms to enter through our ears and through our eyes, because I'm going to put the text on the screen, and we need to focus on the awareness of all of us together with this single longing. So, what I chose, or it chose me, told me to choose it, is this passage. Who is this? Rabbi Elazar opened and said, "Who is it rising from the desert? Who is it? Is the whole of two sanctities, two worlds, Bina and Malchut, in one bonding and in one connection." Rising means that she's actually rising to be the Holy of Holies, since me, Bina, the Holy of Holies, connected to this Malchut, so that Malchut will be rising, which is the Holy of Holies, from the desert, since she inherited this from the desert to be a bride and to enter the wedding canopy. It is written, "Who is it rising from the desert clinging to her beloved?" This is about the end of correction, when the bride rises to the chuppah. The Zohar refers, who is it, to Bina, who is called me, or who in Hebrew, and to Malchut, who is called this, or it. It says that at that time, who is it will be included as one, two sanctities included. This is so because prior to the end of correction, only Bina is called holy, and Malchut that rises to Bina is sanctified only in the holiness of Bina. But at the end of correction, Malchut herself will be holy too, like Bina. Who is it rising will be an inclusion of two sanctities, two worlds, Bina and Malchut, in one bonding and in one connection. A connection is the bundle of life, the end of the Malchut, and the screen that rises reflected light and connects all of the Sephirot as one. At that time, it will end in Yod, forever equal to Bina. This is called one connection and one bonding, since the level of light of Malchut will be connected to the level of Bina, actually as one, for then Malchut herself will be rising to be the actual Holy of Holies, like Bina. I'll be back in 1 second. Actually rising like a burnt offering, which is the Holy of Holies, is Bina, because me, Ava Ve'ima, and the Holy of Holies connected to this Malchut, so that Malchut will be discerned in the form of rising, which is the Holy of Holies. For then a bonding of me with this was done to make this herself the Holy of Holies. And since this is so, it's impossible for any diminution to be in Malchut, since her own sanctity is the Holy of Holies, like Bina. This is why it is written, death will be swallowed up forever. Now again, it's not important to understand anything at all of what we're hearing, but to desire to understand the nature of the quality out of which these words were written. If you've joined us before for this Zohar reading, Gilad has spoken about the manner in which these texts were created. They were created by 10 people working together and sharing and talking, and the text emerged from the quality of their connection. The connection that they had in every session in which this happened in a cave in ancient Israel, the connection that they had at the beginning of every time that they sat to connect with the quality of the upper force was what we're told is that they were in hatred of each other. And that they rose to a level above that hatred, using it actually to call forth a need for a higher and higher level of life. I mean, we are all like that. Our true nature is one of disconnection, self-concern, and at this point, we can see very clearly on a global level, it's hatred. Hatred means an extreme disconnection, being so completely unlike, or we think that we are so completely unlike another in terms of what they desire and what they feel, that we're at the farthest poles that can be in this illusion of separation. And we're all like that, and we are learning and being evolved in order to be at a place that cannot be limited by the quality in which we have been created. Our quality is a quality of reception, taking, and the upper quality or the spiritual quality is one of giving. These two qualities, in what the Zohar says here, calling it the end of correction or the Holy of Holies, is a point at which both of these qualities, hatred and love, work together as a system in order to create a complete love that has no boundaries that can, in us, that cannot be limited by hatred in any way. So the words that are here are models of that kind of a state, and also the route by which the heart rises to that state. It's describing both the end state and the process by which we rise. Again, it's not an intellectual thing in any way. It has to do with how well can you hang on to the trust, the love, the support from others and your support of the others in this thing that we're doing together right now. Let me take a look and see if there are any questions or comments that friends want to share with others here. Slightly Slanted says, I think we long for the Creator because it's also our Redeemer. Yes, and it's also our source. Debbie Bradley says, Shalom and many blessings to all. P. Martin, there's none else besides him. And he also says, so good to see old friends. His old friends on the chat. He's looking for David Mancini. We have a friend from Russia. Somebody who's concerned and thankful for being here from France, Leslie Lemon, and has family in Israel. Mari Cruz from Mexico. If you want to ask something about this process, feel free to do it. If you don't need to ask, that's good too. It's very good, actually. I'm continuing the reading. Also, it was said that she inherited it from the desert to be a bride and to enter the chuppah. The desert is the place of the serpent. The seraph, which is a type of angel. Oops, I want to cut here. Yeah. And the scorpion and the keepers of the Torah are regarded as the makers of the Torah. It follows that this great coupling of the end of correction was done specifically from the desert. She rises from the desert, as it is written, and your desert is comely. She rises in that desert of lip whispering. Midbar, meaning desert, means dibur, speech. As it is written, these mighty gods, these are the gods who smote the Egyptians with all kinds of plagues in the desert. But was everything that the Creator did to them in the desert and not in the settled place? The desert means in speech, as it is written, and your desert is comely. And it is written, from the desert shall lift. So is rising from the desert, indeed from the desert, meaning that the speech of the mouth, Malchut, rises and enters between the mother's wings. Bina, afterwards through speech, Malchut descends and stays over the heads of the holy people. Here there's an explanation which is not directly part of the text. Okay. I'm going down to, and when the rooster calls, it is actually midnight. As it is written, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern by night. Since the holy Shekhinah, meaning divinity, the wholeness of the parts, in the vessel of Malchut was diminished into the lesser light and clothed in the shells, as it is written, and her legs go down to death. This means that the tree of good and bad, if one is rewarded, it is good. If he is not rewarded, it's bad. Thus, there are two halves in Malchut, good and bad. A half in which he was rewarded and a half in which he has not been rewarded. Hence her governance too, which is the night, was divided after her into two halves as well. 1. The first half of the night, as in not rewarded, it is bad, as it is written, you appoint darkness and it becomes night, in which all the beasts of the forest prowl about. And 2. The second half of the night, rewarded, it is good. The first correction for the good half is done at the very point of midnight. Since then Malchut receives the voices of Bina, and then Malchut rises and is mitigated inside of Malchut of Ima, and the judgment inside of Malchut becomes a holy garment, from the side of good without any bad. The meaning is that this judgment falls and stays over the Sitra Achra, which means the other side or the shells, and becomes mercy over Israel. After midnight, a flame comes out of Isaac's pillar and strikes the rooster who is called Gever, a man, such as another man, superior one above him, Isaac, Bina. The flame of Isaac's pillar is the judgment of Bina, angel Gabriel, a rooster, a man, the quality of Gevura, which serves a higher man than him, Malchut of Atzilut, the lesser light. The judgment of Bina strikes under the wings of Gabriel, and then the Malchut receives the voice of Bina through him. When Gabriel calls, all the roosters of this world call, and another flame comes out of him, reaching them under their wings, and they call. This is so because when Gabriel sounds the voice of Bina to the upper Gever, Malchut, the flames come out of Gabriel and reaches all the roosters of the world, which are the judgments in the space of this world, and they all call out only by the voice that was sweetened with the quality of mercy from Bina. Thus the voice which the judgment of Malchut no longer dominates the second half of the night. This place is taken by the voice of Bina, to which the calling of the roosters of this world indicates. This is why it is said here that when the rooster calls, it's the actual midnight, since the rooster indicates that the voice of Bina has already been accepted into Malchut, at which time it is the actual point of midnight, from which the half of the night begins good without any bad. Yes. Let's remember to immerse ourselves into a place that we're not using our mind to determine. What we're actually immersed in is a perfect form that is being presented to our heart. It's an opposite quality. The heart feels it nonetheless. The mind doesn't feel it because that's from the broken part of us. We're immersed into the flow of the stream that is of light that is coming to us, and it's only coming to us because we're connecting with each other. We're here because we have a need, a deficit to understand and feel in us, and not just in us, but for the entire world, what true wholeness and peace is. The only way in which we can grasp that in the slightest is to give that here together, to give that wholeness, to bring our awareness to the fact that there are others with us, and it's the quality of what we want between us that is this wholeness. If we, in some small measure, with the people that are here, want this remedy, want to be able to sense in any way in the heart the complete interconnection, and that the heart of every other person here is actually our own heart. It's actually the disowned, abandoned parts of our heart. That these parts of our desire that we could never bring into our heart and could never feel what a proper prayer is or what a wholehearted prayer is. These are the pieces of that whole heart that we exiled from our heart. This is already a template of the peace that we desire for the world. It's first built in our heart, in our response to the perfect forms that are being presented to our heart and not to our mind. I'm just looking at some of the comments, loving comments coming from the friends online. Does Malchut mean earth? Malchut is the kingdom of God. That means in our heart, it's the basis of the will to receive, that part that has its own independent desire, and that's that part in us that is being corrected to a complete end of correction, in which the quality, which is the physical, say, quality of the desire to receive for ourselves, our created quality, rises to a point that it learns to use that quality to be in exact same intention as the point that created us, as the king. The Malchut comes from the word for king, melech, And so that the Malchut, his kingdom, which is what we were created to be, our quality, is no longer separated, but uses this quality of reception in order to rise to exactly the same quality as that of the king. So it's our created nature, and it eventually becomes a vessel in which all of the upper qualities live within us in this world. But this world is actually dressed and similar in its inner form to that of the heart of the king, basically. These readings don't always move me to tears, but oh, how I love the day like today when it does. Wonderful. Wonderful. I mean, like you, I don't know how to do what we're doing because it's not about knowing, it's about doing. And we're at a place where we have nowhere else to turn but to the essence of what made us and ask for help. And this formation that we have right now is the prayer. It's the asking for help. We don't know what to do. We don't understand what we're reading. We don't know how to pray. So we're asking the upper light to show us how to pray. And so it's showing us this. But we're in it together. And so it's becoming a true prayer. Let's continue. And the Malchut receives the voice of Bina. The righteous raise man, which means prayer, through the Torah, which is the teaching, when they engage after midnight and raise her to rejoicing Gvura of the upper Ima. As it is written, she rises while it is still night, for then she appears in all her splendor and grandeur. This is the way of the holy Malchut, to appear only at night. And she goes by day and appears by night and dispenses food in the morning. She appears only in the Garden of Eden, to those righteous who correct her so, with the engagement of their Torah, who study after midnight. You find that then the Creator is with the righteous in the Garden of Eden, since then the Holy Shekhinah is corrected in the Garden of Eden, while she is watered from the stream of pleasantness, Chochmah, and plays with the righteous who are included in her man, in her prayer. It is forbidden to bless in the morning with impure and filthy hands, and so it is every hour. This is so because that spirit of impurity of the primordial serpent remains on one's fingers even after he's risen from his sleep. And this filth is removed only by washing with a vessel. So it is every hour, and not necessarily after sleep. Rather, every filth and dirt is a place of holding for the Sitra Achra, and it's forbidden to bless unless after washing in water. This is so because when one is asleep, his spirit departs from him. The spirit of impurity is prepared for him and stays on his hand and defiles them. Then it's forbidden to bless in them without washing the hands. But on a day when he does not sleep and the spirit does not depart from him and the spirit of impurity does not stay over him, yet when he walks into the lavatory, He will not bless or read even a single word from the Torah before he washes his hands, but not because they're dirty, for with what did they become dirty? Rather, woe unto those who do not notice and do not know the glory of their master, and do not know on what the world stands. There is a spirit in every lavatory in the world, which is present there and enjoys that disgust and feces, and immediately stays over those fingers of a person. Now, of course, it's not speaking about bathrooms. It's talking about desires of the heart and the need for us to remember what our highest goal is and the greatness of the gift that we're given when we receive some entry into the wisdom, some kind of direction that comes from the light. A lot of that direction, we know, can come through direct instruction on principles. This wisdom can be related, obviously, to the science of this world and to the psychology of human relations and the human heart. But that is kind of a second-hand grasp of the direct relationship, which is faith. But the Zohar uses this kind of language because there are no words for this direct language and relationship to the Creator. There's only movement of the heart. In order to remain in this and be connected to the desire for connection to the upper light and real communication and peace and wholeness, the goal has to remain great for us. And we understand that we are constantly in the presence of the King. It's not the same thing as walking on the street or sitting on the couch or any of the other small desires that we have. Excuse me. It's not one among many desires. It is the actual and only desire. And the washing of the hands, is to remember, is to aim with the right aim and the right remembrance as to what you're doing and what we want together. Let's look at the chat. To be conscious says, my yearning for spirituality seems much stronger, excuse me, when I feel depressed or anxious, than when I feel okay. Do you think I should regard this as a test of how willing I am to cling to the Creator? Yes. We need desire to cling to the Creator. I don't know what you mean by depressed, but certainly the sense that on my own I'm not able to do and achieve the thing that I truly want, if what I want is the highest, what I want for others, do I have the power to give them all that? Do I have even the ability to change anything truly in myself? I can do external behaviors and so on. This feeling that, no, I'm not capable, is a correct perception, and it's like a coupling point to what we truly do need, to where this help can come, from where this help can come. It can only come from asking for the help, because we don't exist in any way apart from the Creator. We exist in Him, and there is nothing, no other force acting in the world, including me. I don't have any agency to do anything. If your heart is telling you that, then yes, you're going to be much more connected when you have that need for the help of the upper light, which also can be felt by us on this level by our connection with the others. The strength comes from our connection with others, which enables us to feel the connection with the Creator. Slightly slanted says, they say that those who suffer the utmost are those closest to liberation, for suffering makes one ponder on why. Yeah. It also makes us willing. It makes us willing to serve the truth. And the other side of that suffering is the bliss that comes from faith, from the surrender to the need of the help of the upper force and of other people, and to also serve other people. These two things, they're like two sides of a coin. The whole point of suffering is to bring us to a complete need, where we're not holding anything back. We are willing. Let's see. Patricia is asking, does forbidden mean impossible in the reading? It always means that in the wisdom of Kabbalah. A Spiritual Odyssey says it feels good to join with others in a bond of peace in the middle of all this turmoil. Yeah. It's like the center of the cyclone, the center, the eye of the hurricane is the peaceful place. At the core of it is a connection to the goal of nature. The hurricane is serving the spiritual evolutionary goal of nature. When we do this, we're like that peaceful eye of the hurricane, and we're aligning with that force that's developing us in an agreement with it. That spreads to the other points in the heart that are the other disowned parts of our heart that may not be here physically present or virtually present online, but are nonetheless here. We're just a number that represents the whole, whatever the number of viewers are right now. That is a representation of all of humanity. It's just the awakened part of it that is in connection with the quality of the upper force right now at this moment. Let's see. Yeah. I really thought that this thing that I chose would take the entire hour, and somehow, even at my slow pace, got all the way through it. I'm going to look for something else that we can also read. Okay. I'm not going to put this text on the screen. This is called from the section of the 5 books of Moses. The Zohar is a commentary, or it's structured as a commentary on the Bible. Come unto Pharaoh. At midnight, Rabbi Chaya and Rabbi Yossi saw a deer walking past them, yelling and raising her voice. they heard one voice declaring and saying, "Rise, you youth, awaken those who are asleep. Worlds, prepare before your masters, because your master is coming to the garden. Because your master is going to the Garden of Eden, Malchut, which is his place to entertain with the righteous." When the Creator appears over the garden, the whole garden gathers, all the righteous in the garden, and it does not separate from Eden, from Chochmah. And springs illumination of Chochmah come out of this Eden towards several ways and trails for the attainment of the righteous. And this garden is called the bundle of life, where the righteous are refined by the illumination of the next world. The Creator made Jerusalem below Malchut, just as Jerusalem above Bina. And he had made the walls of the city and its gates. One who does not enter until the gates are open to him, and one who climbs does not rise until the steps of the walls are fixed. Who can open the gates of the holy city, and who fixes the high steps? It's Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. He opens the gates of the secrets of the wisdom, and he fixes the high degrees. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai was the leader, the teacher of the 10 who wrote the Zohar. And it's interesting that I pulled this particular one out, this additional text out by random, and it speaks again about the Creator coming and walking in the garden to meet his righteous. I suppose then we can see ourselves, because we're in this formation of being in that garden right now. Clara Jansen saying, "It is as if the heart is received and welcomed with the living water at the foot of the temple." So this, what you've said, is a common quality. However a person might express it, is the sensation of good that does good, and the good is between us. That's the reason that we have the sensor, in order to feel such a thing. That not only can it be felt in the heart, but it also can be felt from where it's coming. I really, really like the way you've put this. The heart is received, and it's welcomed with living water at the foot of the temple. The water flows down from the source that is great to us, and we are in touch with because of our desire. We're receiving the remedy. This is what the Zohar is, the most sublime text. It is the root of every aspect of the wisdom of Kabbalah, even though Kabbalah wisdom existed before and was taught in different forms and was realized. It was fully realized practically in a society, in a nation. But here there is a distillation of something from the absolute highest place of good, and it brings with it a sense of beauty, an aesthetic, a balance, a beauty, almost music. It's a quality that you don't find anywhere else. And it's not because the language is particularly poetic. I mean, some places it's very interesting, and it's the images that it evokes, even in what to us is really quite simple language. It comes from the heart, and it speaks directly to the heart. And when it's heard in this context of many people with the same desire, and the heart opens, The spiritual ear opens, the eyes open, and you feel that sublime illumination. Mechanical Elves says so many metaphors, it's mind-blowing. Yeah, it's constructed. Well, the language is, it seems, I don't know if you're talking about just what's in the book or what I'm also saying about what's in the book, doesn't matter. But what is truly beautiful about the language of the Zohar is that it's written from a heart of peace, and that it's not poetry. It is a description of the quality of connection between these 10 who wrote the book. It is the language of the upper world. It's not a beautiful phrasing in order to evoke some not quite specific thing in the heart. It is an actual model. The words themselves are built that it evokes the exact quality of the light, or this part of our progress towards the light. It's an extraordinary language, but it's simple. It's almost like language of the street. I mean, to my ear. Okay. Let's read a little bit more as we're coming to close to the end of our hour together. Let's renew our awareness of our connection with each other, our desire for the living water, for the light, and our ability to love above the hatred and separation of this world and of our current state, which, God willing, is this separated state is ending soon. Let's hold on to this. All the rivers flow into the sea. The rivers which are the abundance from Zeranpin flow to Malchut, which is called a sea. And because she receives them from above, from Bina, she's called prayer. And she's sanctified by their holiness, and she's called holy, since Mochen de Bina, the mind of Bina, is called holy and is called prayer. Then Malchut is called the complete kingdom of heaven. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. Since the Lord is Abba, Father, and the right line, and our God is Ima, mother, and the left line, the Lord is Zeranpin, the middle line, which decides between Abba and Ima. And since there are 3 lines, they do not shine without each other, but rather all at once. This is the voice which one makes as a unification to implement one's aim on uniting all the degrees in Ein Sof to the end of all. In uniting this voice, which he does in these 3 lines, which are one. And this is the unification of each day, which appears in the spirit of holiness. And she said, I dwell among my own people. What is she saying? When the judgment hangs in the world, one should not part from the collective by himself. He will not be mentioned above and will not be known alone. This is so because the judgment hangs in the world. Those who are known and are inscribed alone, though they are righteous, they're caught first. Hence, one must never retire from the people, because the Creator's mercies are always on the whole people together. And this is why she said, I dwell among my own people, and I do not wish to part from them, as I have been doing thus far. Yes, I think we can, let's read that again. This is really the summation of our of our work together today. This is our prayer. And she said, I dwell among my own people. What is she saying? When the judgment hangs in the world, one should not part from the collective by himself. He will not be mentioned above, and he will not be known alone. This is so because when the judgment hangs in the world, those who are known are inscribed alone. Though they are righteous, they're caught first. Hence, one must never retire from the people, because the Creator's mercies are always on the whole people together. This is why she said, I dwell among my own people, and I do not wish to part from them, as I have been doing thus far. Let's see what you, my friends, are saying. Debbie Brady's saying, together we are one. Together we are alive. Patricia is saying, I've never seen such unity in a chat. This is amazing. Okay. If there's anything you would like to ask, we have a couple of minutes. I don't know that you need to ask anything. It may be quite evident to you what this is, what's happening, and what we need to do going forward. This reading will happen certainly during the war, and may it be a short war with mercy at its end. And perhaps after that, and it'll be every Tuesday. We will join together, those who want, and we will ask for the remedy of the Zohar, and do pump light through our conduit to the rest of the world. You can see now, if your heart has been touched, you can see how this mechanism actually works. It's not just that it came into our heart or our vessel. We only exist for the benefit of all those who are waiting for this light, who need to feel it. If we feel it first, they will certainly feel it. It becomes a reality to us. We're opening that door of faith, of direct experience. And the only reason that it's flowing through us is that, let's call it below us, so to speak, others who have not yet found this door are in such need that it's like a vacuum, and it's pulling from the upper force so that it will reach them, because it's truly their need, and we're here to serve them. So again, I'm very honored that you came and that you took it upon yourself inwardly to really do this. Oh, we have a friend watching from Uganda. Nice. Okay. Thank you. I like Tuesdays. I hope you're feeling okay. Get vitamins. I don't know who that's for, but that's good advice for everybody. Friends, we're gonna end it here. See you again next Tuesday.